Welcome to another episode of Follow the Brand TV. I am your host, Grant McGaugh, CEO of 5-Star BDM, a 5-star personal brand and business development company. I want to take you on a journey through another deep dive into the world of personal branding and business development using compelling personal stories, business conversations, and tips to improve your brand. By listening to the Follow the Brand TV series, you will differentiate yourself from the competition and build trust with prospective clients and employers. You never get a second chance to make a first impression. Make it one that will set you apart, build confidence, and reflect who you are. Building your 5-star personal brand is a great way to improve your skills and knowledge. If you have any questions for me or any of my guests, please email me at grant.mcgaugh@5starbdm.com. Now, let's begin with our next episode on the Follow the Brand TV.
Five-Star BDM, Brand Development Masters, is a professional consulting and advisory group keenly focused on business development services for the small to mid-sized business and entrepreneurs. Although every business is unique, they often share business development challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. Services include process improvement and operations, digital strategy and transformation, business intelligence, digital marketing, and personal branding. Our business and personal branding company has helped a number of professionals and organizations to optimize and grow. This results in more business, more opportunities, better reach, positive outcomes. Visit www.5starbdm.com today to learn more.
I want to welcome everybody to the Follow Brand Podcast. This is Grant McGaugh. We're going to talk to someone. I am so intrigued about this conversation I'm going to have. A lot of people don't know I used to live out in New England in the 1990s, and I had a really good friend of mine who was an architect, or he was studying to become an architect, and he told me a lot of the different disciplines that you had to know in order to become an architect. I had no idea all the things that you have to factor in when you're doing something that's building a building or building a bridge or whatever it may be, that you have to understand all these different facets in order to get a building actually built and to be sustainable. And you need to understand so many different things. So with that said, I want to bring to you Daviel. Daviel is a current architect, and he's out of the Omaha area. And we met at the Omaha Inland Port Authority, and I got a chance to talk to him. I said, you've got to be on my show because I'm so intrigued about what you do. So, Daviel, you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, Daviel Phillips. I'm originally from Chicago, Illinois. Came to Nebraska by way of University of Nebraska-Lincoln. Got a master's in architecture and a master's in business administration, and moved up here to Omaha in 2019 BC before COVID. I like to say that. Moved up here and then got started right away. But originally being interested in architecture started when I was in about 6th grade. And it was a direct response to the environment I was growing up in. On the south side of Chicago, there's a lot of great things there. There are also some conditions that could be improved. And so I noticed those conditions that could be improved, like boarded up houses and things like that. And asked my mom one day, who decides what buildings look like? And so her immediate response to any question was Google it. Because I have 2 little sisters, and we were always asking her questions, always consistently asking her questions. And so she told me to Google it. I got home that day, I Googled it, put that into my search browser, and then I saw these beautiful buildings around the world. Things that I was truly inspired by. I was like, man, I love that building. I wish I could plop that building right here in my neighborhood. So that set me on my journey and path towards architecture, becoming an architect.
Man, I love that. I love how your mom said, find out for yourself, because that means you have to lean into them, and then you get the answers that you're looking for. Now, you went to the University of Nebraska. I'm a big giant Cornhusker fan, so I love the fact you're able to come from Chicago and come all the way to Nebraska and learn a lot about culture. But in earning for you, earning both a Master of Architecture and an MBA is absolutely no small feat. It takes years of discipline, vision, and sacrifice in order to do that. And if you would be so kind, just walk us through what drove you to pursue those dual paths and how that experience shaped your identity as a young architect.
Mhm. And so, thinking back, that response to the conditions of my neighborhood and the environment I was growing up in, I often like I tell the story in a creative way to not make things sound as bad as they were, and it's in a sense because sometimes getting into those details can cause, either memories to come up for people or cause them to feel uncomfortable, but really I stuck with architecture because I knew what I could do with it. I was like, I want to give back to my community. I want to change the way my community looks. These poor conditions that I grew up in, who's doing something about it? I didn't necessarily see anybody doing anything about it. And I got tired of waiting on people. So I decided I was going to be the person to do something about it. That was the first thing. And then throughout this journey of pursuing architecture, I did other things. I had other jobs. Like at one point in undergrad, I had three jobs. And I was working at Target, I was working in the dining halls, and I was working at the information technology at the College of Business. And then once I got that position at the College of Business, that continued on for like the next 3 to 5 years while I was in school, all through undergrad and then all through grad school once I started there. But that position at the College of Business in the IT department, starting out as a technician, I really didn't know anything about IT. I used that principle that my mom taught me, Google it.
Yeah.
I was Googling stuff. I was figuring out the answer just by doing research, for the IT issues that would come up. But over time, I started to develop specialties and things. And when professors and staff had issues with their IT equipment, I would go to assist them. And especially with the professors, if a projector wasn't working in the class or something, after I fixed the issue, I would sit in the class just to make sure things were working. But when I would do that, I would get really intrigued by what they were teaching. And yeah, I drew a fascination for business. And then when people would come in, staff would come in, and people would come to the IT department and talk to us about whatever they had going on, whatever problem they were solving at the time through business, I was just fascinated. And then I understood after a while, architecture is a business. So I want to understand the business side of architecture is the epiphany I came to. And that's why I ended up mixing them both together. And then over time, like reading books like The Miseducation of the Negro, that really helped me because in a sense, it was what I was trying to do, put into a book, put into words, because I wanted to be the person to go back, take my education, go back into the community and help uplift the people and in the environment, totally the quality of life, uplift the quality of life.
I think that's so important. And to your point, like when you come outside every day, especially like in the South Side of Chicago, and you see where you're at, and then you see architecture in other neighborhoods, other places, even in the local area across the world, and say, wow, how can I make a significant change? And I love that you saw that and that you took on the initiative to, I want to pursue this. And what I can see already, you must be very, very in intelligence because architecture is often called a marathon of professions because of the intensity of the training, the certification process. I want to still understand even more because you had to go deep in order to get those kinds of degrees. I want to know what motivated you through the grind and how does that same discipline translate into the work you're doing now in Omaha, Nebraska?
Mhm. Yeah, really, I think what kept me going through the grind was understanding what I can do with what I was trying to do. What I can do with architecture and business, and putting the two together and creating comprehensive, cohesive developments that respond to our environment. You know, But really, that sense of what I can do with architecture came from knowing what my purpose is. And in a sense, I kind of defined it for myself, but I also feel like it was given to me, and it's to give back with the skills, talents, and resources I've been blessed with. And I feel that those skills, talents, and resources are architecture, design, business, entrepreneurship, those kinds of things. And then also, my values are deeply rooted in quotes. And so a quote that I learned fairly recently is always try to be nice, but never fail to be kind. So I try to practice that as well, because niceness could be a facade. Since we're talking about buildings, a facade is just the
Yeah.
front of a building, you know.
Yeah.
But then the layers behind that niceness is what makes a person kind, and truly responding in a kind way. And I think that buildings can respond to our environments in a kind way. We can respond to each other in a kind way. And so just having that purpose, that sense of what I need to do, what I want to do, having a mission and a vision for my life, and then just people and mentorship and values along the way help me stay on the path.
Love that. I like how you put that metaphor, that analogy together about the facade. And I want you to think about this because now you've been in Omaha, Nebraska for 4 or 5 years. Think about like when you're working with the Omaha Inland Port Authority and there's a certain region now that you're looking to impact. When you drive down, like let's say from 30th Street and let's say it's Ames Avenue, going down to 16th Street, or you're going from 24th and Ames all the way down, past 24th and Lincoln before, you see the facades of the buildings. You see the architecture there. You see some historical things there. I think I just learned that a lot of those buildings came up, during the manufacturing age or around some of them were agricultural building, there were mills, there was something like that. Some of that is from the past, yet they still maintain some of the facades. Some of those buildings are now empty now. Some of them are occupied. What feeling do you get when you're flowing through there from an architectural lens?
I see opportunity, but then also there's because I took sociology classes where I was in school too to diversify like my perspective a bit, and heard of the broken window theory. And in a
Mhm.
sense, the broken window theory is that something is broken or something is dilapidated or in a poor condition, and people will continue to treat it that way. Right? If your windows are broken out of a window, out of a building, then someone's going to break another window
Mhm.
in that building. That's kind of the thing. And so it has a ripple effect. The things will continue to get worse with this building because it's already in a bad spot. And then that happens with other buildings on that same block, because it's a ripple effect that this building is being treated poorly. No one wants to deal with it. Now the building next to it is going to go under the same condition and the building next to that. And so you see this trickle effect of, uh, uh, of a poor condition perpetuating. Yeah, but I see it as an opportunity for us to go in and do something about it. And this opportunity with the Port Authority, with the Black History Museum, and a few other organizations, they're a culmination of everything I wanted to do, everything I said I wanted to do with architecture and business. I get to put the two together. So I truly feel it's a blessing that was bestowed upon me to be appointed to this board and be able to give back to the community. And I just want to do a good job. And so you may see me put pressure on people or even put a lot of pressure on myself. It's because I really want to do a good job with this effort.
I love, man, what you just said there is so important because if we lead with intentionality to make something better, and when I think architecture, I think of art, I think science, I think of social responsibility, and I see that we all have a role in making our community, especially our shaping of our culture, to be better. And there is an opportunity in North Omaha because I'm seeing when I go down that street now, I see a technical ecosystem that can be built. Something because you're coming from, north, which is the high school there. It's already a magnet program. They're already doing some innovative things. You've got Metro Community College like right there. And then as you flow down, you've also got the library that's right there. So I'm starting to see a future that can be built. You've got an airport that few you can just fly in there. You've already got a recreational center in Curl Lake. So I'm starting to see that this could look so completely different. So when you think about the OIPA and the community vision and that project in Omaha, how did you become involved? And then what excites you most about its potential to create a long-term impact for North Omaha and other communities?
Yeah, I got involved initially because I think it's just the work I have been doing in the community, working on the Great Plains Black History Museum, a renovation to the Urban League of Nebraska, the new space for the North Omaha Visitor Center, renovated Holy Name School, and for the exterior doors at Sacred Heart School as well. And so just having a footprint in the community, and also I volunteer a lot. So even this past Saturday, I organized a community cleanup. I helped to organize the community cleanup that I led for this particular cleanup, and we do cleanups every month during the spring through the fall. And so I was just deeply involved in the community, talking to some good people like Chief Warren, Chief of Staff to the Mayor, and Mayor Stothard at the time. And I think through some of those connections, through the involvement I had in the community, that I was appointed to the board, in that way. And then, what was the second question? I'm sorry.
I want to know how you see especially the project that you're working through right now. How do you see the framework for problem solving? Now you see the building structure, right? You see what Omaha is today. How do you see this changing? Can you create the long-term impact for North Omaha so now you're involved with the community?
Mm-hmm. I think one of the ways we create that long-term impact is by directly responding to the issues. I feel that a lot of times that we either get shortchanged because we put in a grant, but we only got half of the grant, the dollars that we asked for, or even less than that. It's times where we know what the issue is, but some of the people holding the keys to get things done, they tend to kind of do things their way versus responding to things that what the community said, we want this, we need this. They kind of get part of it or half of it or not it at all. So I think this is a unique opportunity for the Port Authority, who has funding, to directly respond to some of the issues that are in the community that are prevalent, and we can directly respond and get things done, and not have to sit around waiting for someone else to do it. I think that's the biggest thing. Like I see this in communities like whether it's the South Side Chicago, North Omaha, or any other place that I've been to around the nation or around the world, that really you have to have somebody that's a champion that's going to go and get things done.
I like that. This is important. So like you said before, it's always like it's wishful thinking, right? And then everybody's like, yeah, it'd be nice, but we don't have the money, we don't have the funding. Now you've got the funding. Now you say, okay, what can we do to shape something that's different? And do something that's going to really make and shape and be historical when you really think about it, for a number of years to come. So I want to ask you, in your role, design thinking, there's architectural discipline at play. Now, do you see architecture as a framework for problem solving beyond just building the environment?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I often tell, especially the youth that I speak with about architecture, that everybody is an architect in a sense. If you ever had an idea that you saw through to fruition, that something that just lived in your head and then now it's a physical thing, I think you architect that dream. Like you turn that word from a noun to a verb. So I see like the awards that you have behind you and some of your credentials, that credential that you have, like going to college, for example, you said, I'm gonna do this. Then you actually went and got that receipt, that piece of paper, you got that degree. You architect that dream. You saw your way through becoming a scholar at that level. And so that's what I do as an architect, really. Someone approaches me about a dream or a vision that they have for either a piece of land or a building that they want to do, like the Great Plains Black History Museum, and
Mhm.
then I bring them through the process to actually realize that building actually getting done. And so one of the first projects I got to work on from literally beginning to end was over at Micah House over in Council Bluffs, because they also built the early education center right next door to the shelter that they have. And so I was on that project from beginning to end. So I was able to see that vision for early education center for the youth from 0 to 5 years old, that they wanted to have a space for them. And now I got to see the youth running through that building and,
Yeah.
and enjoying the spaces that I helped to create. So architecting that vision, we all can do that. And I think design thinking is a big piece of it, because it's about being solution oriented, understanding the issue, like especially when you get down to the root cause of the issue. Now you can really do something about it. And you could be creative in what you do to solve that issue. So,
That is so important, especially today. And you've got some information technology background as well. In the age of information technology and now artificial intelligence, so important for our youth and for everyone to understand critical thinking principles. You've got to now problem solve. No one when we were in school, like, oh, now we're going to do problem solving, right? No one liked to do that because, it's just, you have to utilize your brain. You're not just operating out of memory. A lot of
mhm,
times you're taking testing, they're just saying, hey, did you learn this? Let's see what you remember, right? Where critical thinking is a lot deeper than that, right? Because there's no right or wrong answer, especially when I took physics and things like that. They want to understand the process, your thought process of how you got to the answer. That is what is critically important to understand. I know from an architectural standpoint, this is where you take off in what you do and how you're being able to do that. My question for you is, I want you to speak to our youth right now, those that are potentially, let's say they're in middle school, high school, they're in their undergrad program. What advice would you give to them so they can go deeper than not just Googling for that information, but utilizing things like our large language models, their chat GPTs, their Claudes, and things like that, to get the answers to begin to think critically, because this is things that machines cannot do that
mhm,
are uniquely human in aspect.
mhm. Yeah, one of the biggest questions, because I'm a very curious person, right? And very meticulous in some ways, and so I was thinking to myself, what's one question that I can ask no matter what you say?
Mhm.
Literally, no matter whatever answer you give me, what's a question that I can ask? And that question is why, you know, ask why. There is a poster of Muhammad Ali right here on my wall. If someone sees that, they can say why. And I'll say, well, my favorite quote is on that poster as well. And so then you can say, well, why is that your favorite quote? And you can go deeper and deeper. So that's one of the things that I would ask, or I would tell to the youth is be curious, ask questions, especially ask why. And when you do that, excuse me, when you do that, then you're able to discern, like, you're able to create that critical question that you're looking to put into Chat GPT as a prompt and things, because you're able to say, this is why I'm asking this question. This is what I'm hoping to learn from asking this question. And so then you start to kind of get a little bit deeper into a little bit past the surface level of things, so you can create a deeper understanding of things. Also be bold, because asking a question could be hard sometimes.
Yeah.
And so I was one of the kids that would raise my hand and ask a question, and I didn't care whoever felt any way about it. I know class is about to end in 60 seconds. I'll still raise my hand and keep us there for another 2 minutes, just because I was curious, and I was bold enough to raise my hand and ask that question. And then, even if I didn't ask the question during class, I'll go up to the teacher and ask, because I wanted to get maybe probably a deeper answer than they would have gave me in front of the whole class too. And so I think just understanding that, asking questions and being bold, but then also the values. And one of my values is faith, consistency, and hard work. And I think with those three things, you can achieve anything. You have faith that you can do it and faith that it can be done. You have to have consistency, which means you have to practice. You got to be consistent. You got to keep showing up. Can't just do it once and think you're going to be a rock star at it. You got to practice. And then hard work is that you have to work hard. Nothing's going to be easy. If it was easy, then most people would be doing it. So if you got to work hard to separate yourself from the others and to actually show yourself that, hey, man, I do care about this. That's where hard work comes in. So faith, consistency,
100%.
and hard work.
You have a framework. And I encourage everyone listening to this particular podcast. What you just said, Daviel, is having a framework, your own personal mission, statement. This is my why, as you just unpack, right? This is why I do what I do. This is why I was able to achieve the results that I have today because I put in the work, but I adhered to my own framework, my own discipline. I work with the BRAVE framework, right? That's my acronym because I think no matter what you do, and I'm almost certain you did the same thing, you had to be brave in order to become an architect. Because if you look at that mountain, from a distance, from the bottom, like you're gonna have to learn this, you're gonna have to learn this, you're gonna have to learn mathematics and geography and weather and all these different things. You're like, wow, but then you look at that like this is a challenge that I want to take on. This is exactly what I want to do. So you had to be brave. Brave stands for me, it's bold. You've got to be bold, right? You got to be resilient, right? You got to be authentic. You've got to have a vision and you got to execute. That's brave for me. That's the framework that I wake up every day and doing what I need to do in order to get done. But you develop that framework for yourself. You've developed your framework for yourself. When you look at Muhammad Ali behind you, man, if you really go through his story, it's really an incredible story because he had already achieved the fact of becoming a world champion, but then it was taken away from him. And he had to go through years of hardship and putting in the hard work to finally get to the point of getting to that championship again. And he took on the United States government in order to do that. That is huge. So when I look at you and I want to talk to you about legacy and leadership and membership, and you've taken on a lot of these leadership roles that you talked about, especially like at the Urban League of Nebraska Young Professionals and Alpha Phi Alpha and some others. How have these, or I say those experiences in community and professional leadership prepared you for coalition building work like the OIPA? So I want people to understand, especially our young youth, that this is a community effort, and the more that we are engaged and involved, it won't be like someone built this for us. We built this for ourselves.
Mhm. Yeah, and it's really like those organizations like the Urban League and the NAACP. It started out learning about history, learning about our history and why those organizations were started. And then learning about the work that those organizations did and still do to this day. I just grew deeply passionate for them and this deep responsibility to protect those institutions as well. And the best way for me to protect them is to be a part of them. That was at least my mindset. Wanted to be a part of these organizations and wanting to be a part of this history led me to, different literature. So like The Souls of Black Folk,
Mhm.
Miseducation of the Negro,
Mhm.
Autobiography of Malcolm X. These kinds of books and this literature is teaching me and gave me this deep passion for the Black community,
Mhm.
because I know what we're capable of. Like even my favorite basketball player, Derrick Rose, because he's from South Side Chicago like me, and I was able to see him go and become MVP.
Yeah.
Somebody that people probably doubted when he was growing up. People thought he wouldn't amount to anything probably. And then he became the rose that grew from the concrete, and so like things like that, those kinds of stories really deeply inspire me, and so I can get inspired like that, like a snap, like I can get inspired because there's so much out there. Like it was a time where I was thinking I'm not gonna do architecture anymore, and I'm gonna lean on my business degree.
Mhm.
And because all throughout school, I was the only Black kid. Even at my job for a while, I was the only one. and now it's two of us. But, that sense of being the only, I was starting to get defeated by it. Then I started to do my research, like, and why. And I was like, I found out about the first Black architect in the state of Illinois, the first Black woman architect in the state of California, the first Black architect in the state of New York, things like that. And I was like, man, they probably didn't have anybody teaching them. They probably were in a similar condition that I'm in. Like, who
Yeah.
am I to just give up, at this point when they did it? Who they have? So I was inspired by that, and I got mad at myself so much so that I got right back to work. I got right back to work. And then something else I want to share with you too is growing up with these in these poor conditions and stuff that I was in, even though I had everything I needed, because I'm very proud of the young man I am today. So I don't like to really complain, but kind of growing up in these conditions, I was angry. I was mad at the way that my family had to live, that the conditions I had to grow up in, the violence that you hear about in Chicago. I was upset, and I think the thing that drove me was going to get my education. I was mad at my situation, so I went and got my education. Because I felt like that was the one thing that can't be taken from me, my ability to think for myself. And
I've
so
heard that so many times. What you just said, I know a lot of people in the Caribbean, a lot of people. I know a doctor. He actually worked at the Microsoft, very keen on artificial intelligence. Worked with the people that actually developed Open AI. And he said, my way out growing up was education. So I fell in love with education. And once you are aware, you can apply what you have learned. And I always look at architecture, it's applied science. You have to apply the mathematics and other things that are so important. So when you look at a building, you just don't see concrete and steel and paint. You see a representation of a lot of thought, emotion, and impact. And I like that. And the fact that you even cited, Malcolm X, that and maybe you knew this, maybe you didn't, but then he was born, in Omaha, Nebraska. And then and now as you come into your own in Omaha, Nebraska, we can host the first Black mayor of Omaha, Nebraska, who I went to high school with. Uh,
nice.
his father, true story, his father is a contractor, and he actually put the roof on my on our family home, like
Mm.
back in the late 70s, early 80s. And so him and his brother used to come by our house because my brother ran track, and they all ran track together. I would have not known at that point. I go, yeah, one day you're going to be mayor of Omaha, Nebraska. We said, no, we're just, kids that but we had an ethic. I mean, he ran very hard and did a lot of great things. And at the time, Omaha Northwest is where we went to high school with. We were just getting a name for ourselves. Northwest wasn't the central at the time, or it used to be a school called Tech at the time, or even Omaha North at the time. Those had names for themselves. Northwest was just starting out, but we made a name for ourselves because we went out there and we won championships. I think you're making a name for yourself. So when you go back to the South Side of Chicago, some of the places that you grew up, and they see you, like they're going to look up to Daviel Phillips. And we were able to showcase, it's almost like an artist, right? An artist always has a showcase, and then you can showcase your work. And when it goes up as a building, that showcase lasts probably beyond yourself. How does that make you feel?
Oh, it feels fantastic. Like I said, like seeing those young kids running through the early education center, like I'm like I hope to create an environment in which they can learn and be safe learning. And then like I know like Steelhouse here in Omaha, I had a very small role on that project. Like I did some details up in the balcony and things. I like to say like those details led to me having a lot of leg room because I'm pretty tall. So I'm used to my knees touching the seat in front of me if I'm at a stadium kind of environment or kind of in an entertainment venue. Now I have ample leg room. So it's like those little details. I could speak to that, and I'm very comfortable when I go to Steelhouse, because of that reason.
You
Yeah,
thought about
so yeah,
yourself in the design. Okay,
yeah.
okay.
But then also all the other tall people out here that things aren't really built or made for us. So yeah, we just add a little bit more leg room, and it makes a world of difference.
makes a big difference. Now, here's the things. I know when I was asking even my parents, they were just a little bit unclear about what the Omaha Inland Port Authority is all about. What is its aim, its goal? How do you see that from your viewpoint?
Yeah, so the Omaha Inland Port Authority is meant to help development in the district, and so we can do development ourselves, or we can be a financial vehicle for others doing development. And we do have initiatives that we started, like the Innovation District, the Airport Business Park. I know we have a housing initiative that's a statute requirement to build some new housing. And there's a lot of vacant lots, so we can do some infill development with an innovation district. There's so many different things you can do with innovation. You talked about tech, you talked about architecture. I think those two things, professions have space within the innovation district, and then also entertainment, things to get our youth excited, invested in their education, and then put them on a trajectory where they can win, and not just teach them how to win by themselves, but teach them how to win together, and like, because you mentioned like coalition building and getting people together. I think that educational piece and the teaching people how to get along, we need to learn how to love each other,
Yeah.
so I think that those things are how we make it what we need it to be as far as the Port Authority. And then we have a board retreat coming up soon. And so hopefully the mission and the vision is more clearly defined after our retreat. I'm going to get some information from other port authorities that have established and done great work. And so, yeah, I'm excited for what the future holds for us.
Well, I tell you, from our conversation, one of the things that really stood out for what you just said is so important. When you see a building and you see a broken window, and it encourages other people to break another window and then another window. So if you can see something that is more substantial, like you were saying, like the steel house and some other architecture that has been rebuilt, especially like on 24th Street. I remember going down the street and I saw I Be Black Girl, right? And I said, oh, that's nice. So you wouldn't want to throw a rock through that window, right? It's
Mhm.
something you want to appreciate, and we can build more architecture that's down there. We've got some other things that are there that are starting to look good. I like Dreamland that they built on 24th Street. I think that is look good. Just remember, I've been gone from the area from since 1991. I would come back obviously periodically to visit, but to live here full time, I'm starting to appreciate a lot of these different things that I see there that I did not see, before. And I'm like, all right, I'm starting to see some change in a positive direction. And I like that you are a part of that. Now we're coming to the end of this particular interview. And I always ask this of my guests here of late, because now you're at the end of the interview and then it's real time. You just did this. How'd you feel about being on the Follow the Brand podcast?
Oh, I feel great. I feel the same way as before we started. Super excited, um, willing to share. I think it's a wonderful platform, and I'm one of the guys that likes to be in the background, even though I'm bold and I speak up. I like to just be in the background, getting the things done. So I'm happy to have a moment where I can come and share what I'm about to the people.
Oh man, that's the whole thing, man. Share what you're about to the people. I love what you're doing. I tell you, when I first saw you there, like this is exactly what I want to see. A younger person who's very professional, who's bringing something to our community to make a positive change. So as your children and children, they walk through these particular areas, like, hey, yeah, you can see old Omaha in pictures, but this is what new Omaha looks like today. And I'm glad that you're making that vision happen for us. And I really, truly appreciate you being on the show. And before I let you go, you got to tell us how to contact you, how to, whether you've got email, whether it's LinkedIn, what is the best way to reach Daviel Phillips?
Oh yeah, LinkedIn, my LinkedIn.com, like name on there is the same as like my Instagram. It's dreams, the number two, live the number four. Dreams to live for. Because that's what I feel like I have. Dreams to live for. I want to keep going. Yeah,
I love it. Dreams to
yeah.
live for, man. You can't get no better than that. And I encourage your entire audience to visit us at 5-Star BDM. That is the number 5. That is star, STAR, B for brand, D for development, informasters.com. You're going to see over 200 other individuals like Daviel that are pictured there. They're sharing their expertise. They're sharing their story. They're sharing their experiences to help us all to move forward and create a new future. So thank you again for being on the Follow Brand Podcast.
Thank you.
Man, who's your favorite podcaster? Man, Grant, man. I love Grant's podcast. Well, who's Grant? I'm going to send you the link. I love Grant.
I love the interview. I've done a lot of these, and this is a great one. It's always great to talk to people who know what they're doing, and it's clear you're a great host, and you've done this many times before.
I feel great that we're having this conversation here. Met a new person in business who I previously didn't know.
It was an amazing podcast. Grant is an amazing interviewer. I learned a lot.
Really enjoyed this. Great questions, great talk track. Super appreciate you having me on. It's been a very fun episode to talk about a lot of things that I don't always get to dive into. So this has been a fantastic conversation.
I wouldn't be where I am here today, of course, not on this stage. However, not in my current business projection and my current business model without working with you.
The difference between influence and legacy, it's the platform that carries your voice. You're not visible because you lack talent. You're visible because your brand doesn't speak. I've built 5-Star BDM to change that. Most leaders have the expertise, but not the presence, the vision, but not the vehicle. Across 3 cities, one brand is helping leaders rise above the noise. Here in the heart of Omaha, strategy isn't left to chance. It's engineered with precision. In Omaha, we engineered your Zacna brand, AI-powered, data-driven, precise. TISA went from a local nonprofit to a national speaker in 90 days. We don't guess your brand strategy, we build it. On the shores of St. Croix, your brand takes on depth and meaning, shaped through curated retreats and legacy experiences. In St. Croix, strategy becomes soul. Our retreats don't just refine your message, they rediscover your mission. One founder rewrote his entire company story here. Funding followed 30 days later. This is where leaders remember who they were meant to be. In vibrant Miami, momentum meets amplification, transforming your voice into a movement. In Miami, your brand becomes a movement. Business development accelerators, audience building. Joy came with an old website and an outdated company name, but she left with 5,000 followers and a waiting list. This is where you scale with soul. 3 cities, 1 mission. Your legacy ignited. It started with a thread. Let's pull it together. Stop blending and start leading. 5-Star BDM, where legacy is engineered, embodied, and ignited. Visit 5starbdm.com and book your brand audit today.
What if leadership wasn't about titles, but trials? What if your breakthrough lay beyond fear? In First Light, the brave path to authentic leadership, embark on a journey of courage, truth, and purpose. Face the wolf. Hear first thunder. Wield the sword and shield. This is more than a book. It's a calling. Are you ready for First Light? Are you searching for a website that truly reflects your mission and vision? The 5-Star BDM website services portfolio, led by Grant McGaw, transforms ideas into impactful digital platforms for personal brands, nonprofits, and small businesses. Each project in our portfolio tells a unique story. From JADICC, a infection control expert organization with professional polish, to Ekaba World Community, a dynamic hub for events and memberships, and Pink Lotus Project, empowering women with donation and program features, every site is crafted using our Brave branding framework and mobile-first development. Our portfolio is more than a gallery. It highlights project context, purpose, and measurable outcomes. We demonstrate brand consistency, strategic user experience, and deliver results that build trust and drive engagement. A world-class portfolio proves capability, sets you apart from competitors, and positions you as an authority. It is your most trusted sales tool and reputation asset. Ready for a website that leads with purpose? Book a discovery consultation or request a brand audit today. In today's world, where every voice competes for attention, true influence stands out. One visionary has redefined the landscape of brand building. His name is Grant McGaw, and his innovative approach is setting new standards in the industry. Recognized among the top 30 global gurus in branding for 2025, Grant McGaw is a name synonymous with transformative brand leadership. His work is not just about creating brands, it's about crafting legacies. Through his visionary strategies, he is helping leaders across the globe redefine their impact and influence. At the heart of Grant's success is the revolutionary BRAVE framework. BRAVE stands for branding, resilience, authenticity, vision, and excellence. Each element is meticulously crafted to guide leaders in building brands that are not only successful, but also meaningful. Branding sets the foundation, resilience ensures longevity, authenticity builds trust, vision drives innovation, and excellence guarantees quality. This framework is where data meets storytelling and strategy meets authenticity. From healthcare to technology, Grant's methodology is reshaping how industries approach branding. His strategies are not confined to a single sector. They are universal, adaptable, and effective. By integrating the BRAVE framework, organizations are experiencing a transformation in how they connect with their audiences, ensuring their message resonates and endures. Grant McGaw's influence extends beyond frameworks. Through his best-selling books and the acclaimed Follow the Brand podcast, he shares insights and strategies that empower leaders to elevate their brand presence. These resources are a testament to his commitment to shaping the future of branding. Grant McGaw is not just influencing the present, he is shaping the future of brand influence. His work is a beacon for those seeking to lead with purpose and impact. By embracing his methodologies, leaders are equipped to navigate the complexities of modern branding with confidence and clarity. Discover the BRAVE approach to brand leadership and unlock the potential of your brand. At 5-Star BDM, where vision meets results, Grant McGaw invites you to embark on a journey of transformation. Experience the power of strategic branding and redefine your impact in the world. In today's fast-paced financial landscape, access to capital is the key to success. At the heart of this revolution is Case Capital Markets, powered by SETI-Case. Here, innovation and investment converge, creating a dynamic environment where businesses can thrive and reach new heights. Introducing Grant McGaw, the Senior Advisor at Case Capital Markets. Grant is a visionary leader, dedicated to connecting businesses with institutional capital and strategic funding. His expertise opens doors to game-changing investment opportunities, making him an invaluable partner for companies looking to scale and succeed in the competitive world of finance. With an impressive 25 years in technology, 9 years in healthcare, and 6 years in investment banking, Grant McGaw has a proven track record. He has successfully closed over $500 million in high-value transactions, seamlessly bridging technology, healthcare, and infrastructure with innovative financial solutions. His experience is a testament to his ability to drive success. Case Capital Markets offers businesses direct access to over 32,000 venture capital firms, private equity funds, family offices, and institutional investors. This network empowers mid-market companies with under $100 million in revenue to scale beyond their limits, unlocking unprecedented growth potential. Debt, equity, growth capital, public offerings. These are the building blocks of the future of capital access. Whether you're scaling a business, seeking investment, or exploring market expansion, Grant McGaw is your trusted partner. Together, you can unlock capital and create long-term financial success. The future belongs to those who take action. Are you ready to elevate your business?
The 5-star BDM LinkedIn social selling course can help you stand out and attract the right connections and opportunities. We will help you professionally create your profile, provide personalized recommendations for improvement, and help you create and share engaging content to help you showcase your skills and expertise. Our 5-step course makes connecting with industry experts, finding job opportunities, and building meaningful relationships easy. Social selling can be an effective way for you to generate leads and close deals, but it does have its challenges. Our course will help you solve the problems associated with digital networking. If you need help personalizing your outreach and messaging, which can lead to low response rates and a lack of engagement. If you need help targeting the right prospects, this course is for you. With so much noise on social media, it can be challenging to cut through the clutter and get your message in front of the right people. Our course will personalize your messaging using our targeting tools and research. You can identify and reach the right prospects. We will also show how to deliver high quality, valuable content that attracts and engages prospects and clients. The 5-star BDM LinkedIn social selling course will address these challenges by implementing best practices. As a result, you can improve your social selling efforts and generate better results. Are you looking to improve your LinkedIn profile and reach a wider audience? Social selling is an effective way for you to generate leads and close deals, but it does have its challenges. Some common problems we saw with social selling include lack of visibility. If your profile is not optimized or you're not actively participating in groups or sharing content, it can be difficult to get noticed on LinkedIn. Number 2, lack of personalization. Some businesses struggle with personalizing their outreach and messaging, which can lead to low response rates and a lack of engagement. Also, difficulty targeting the right prospects. It can be difficult to identify and target the right prospects on social media, especially if you don't have access to robust targeting tools. And number 4, outdated content. If your LinkedIn profile or content is not up to date, it can give the impression that you're not actively engaged on the platform or that your skills and experience are not current. And lastly, poor quality content and not leveraging video and picture to convey ideas. To solve these problems, the 5-star BDM LinkedIn Optimization Social Selling Video course will help you focus on personalizing your outreach and messaging to better connect with prospects. In module number 1, the foundation, we will help you create high quality, valuable profile that will attract and engage. In module 2, the story, optimizing your LinkedIn profile to make sure it is complete, accurate, and visually appealing. In module number 3, the experience, using your targeting tools and research to identify and reach out to the right prospects. In module number 4, engagement, establishing a consistent follow-up process to nurture leads and build relationships over time. And lastly, in number 5, execution. Understand the metrics to help you measure your brand effectiveness. By addressing these challenges and implementing best practices, you will improve your social selling with the 5-star BDM LinkedIn Optimization Social Selling course. Listen to what others have said about 5-star BDM.
Grant, I'll tell you why I'm here, right? I'm here because I love your brand. When we started chatting on LinkedIn, we connected. I checked you out and I go, man, this guy knows what he's talking about.
You were definitely instrumental in helping to shape that knowledge of who I am. Because at first I thought, well, I am an actress. I am a writer. I am a producer. I am a speaker. And so I said, well, I must be a creative communicator. I know that there is a narrative thread here, but you nailed it when you said you are a storyteller. So you brought it all together in this cohesive title.
Sign up today to improve your social selling opportunities.
For decades, artificial intelligence was a silent force, known only to scholars, engineers, and the world's most powerful minds. Flickering images of clunky computers and early robots remind us of AI's humble beginnings. But in 2022, everything changed. The world met ChatGPT, a groundbreaking leap in AI technology that captured global attention and imagination. Social media exploded with headlines proclaiming, AI is taking over, and the future is now. AI was no longer just a concept, it was a reality. But the evolution didn't stop there. Enter Agentic AI, an intelligence that doesn't just answer questions but takes action. This new wave of AI is reshaping our world in ways we never imagined. Agentic AI represents a monumental shift. It is intelligence that reasons, makes decisions, and propels us forward without waiting for permission. Imagine AI that monitors a patient's vitals in a hospital room, generates real-time financial insights in a corporate boardroom, and seamlessly transitions customer service chats to human representatives. This is not the future. It is happening now. Mandeep Maini, speaking with unwavering conviction, emphasizes, this isn't the future. It's happening now. AI that makes decisions. AI that reasons. AI that moves us forward without waiting for permission. Her words echo the transformative power of agentic AI, urging us to recognize the profound changes unfolding before our eyes. Grant McGaw adds, this changes everything. Business, healthcare, our daily lives. Are we even ready for this? The impact of agentic AI is vast and far-reaching. From AI-generated stock market predictions to AI-assisted MRI scans, the technology is revolutionizing industries and challenging our understanding of control and autonomy. As we stand on the brink of this technological revolution, we must ask ourselves, will we control AI or will it control us? In a futuristic lab, a robotic eye processes trillions of data points. Join Grant McGaw and Mandeep Maini in this electrifying episode of the Follow the Brand podcast, where the past, present, and future of AI collide. The revolution is here. Are you listening?
That's a really important question and consideration when it comes to adoption. How will we go about it? A very important aspect of AI implementation, and that's where I focus my work on, is AI adoption in healthcare specifically, is preparing the workforce.
Hey everyone, it's Grant McGaw, CEO of 5-Star BDM and host of the award-winning Follow the Brand podcast and TV series, where I help you to build a 5-star brand that people will follow. My genius is personal brand development through intelligent communication and helping you achieve your business and career goals. I am a requested speaker on digital technology and brand development issues. I want to work with you to increase the value of your current opportunities while attracting new ones. Every one of you is unique, and we all share challenges that can be addressed through smart branding. As a super connector, I work with you as an executive coach to guide you along the complicated business and career development road, providing the enhancement tools and information you need to succeed. Together, I will help you succeed in today's challenging business climate. I will evaluate and measure your progress. Best of all, I am right alongside you every step of the way. Build the brand called you. Genius is coming.
Tune in for our next show or click on our website at www.firestarbdm/followthebrandtv. Thank you.